Hey Bitcoin holders, forget the charts for a minute. Forget the headlines, the fear, the tariff noise. Just take a second and zoom out and let's get back to what really matters. Because if you're in Bitcoin right now, chances are you're not here for a quick flip. You're here because you know this is bigger than money. We're here because we believe in freedom. And for most of us, that freedom looks like one thing: early retirement, getting out of the rat race, living life on our own terms. So today, we're going to ask the real question: how much Bitcoin do you actually need to retire? I'll break down the numbers, walk through a few price scenarios, and show you just how close we might be to that goal. Because for some of us, the answer is closer than we ever imagined. So without any delay, let's jump into it. Let's start with the real question: why retire with Bitcoin? Because there's never been anything like it in the history of money. It's not controlled by governments. It's not tied to inflation. It doesn't lose value because someone printed too much of it. Bitcoin is hard-coded freedom. Only 21 million will ever exist. And that number never changes, and more honest than anything the traditional financial system has ever given us. And now look at what's happening. Wall Street is loading up. Countries are watching. BlackRock, Fidelity, MicroStrategy. These are billion-dollar institutions, and they're not stacking for fun. They're stacking for control, because they know what this asset can become. Even governments are starting to wake up. There are rumors that the US might start buying Bitcoin with tariff revenue. And if that happens, or even just becomes a real conversation, we could see a supply shock like we've never seen before. This isn't just a trade anymore. Bitcoin is becoming the foundation for a new kind of retirement plan, one that doesn't rely on banks, bonds, or broken systems. So when we talk about retiring with Bitcoin, we're not just being hopeful, we're being early. Now, let's get into the most interesting part, because once you really zoom out and see where Bitcoin is headed, things start to feel a lot more real. Let's say your goal is simple: retire early and live comfortably. Maybe that means making $50,000 a year, or even 100K, depending on where you live and what kind of life you want. Now imagine Bitcoin reaching the levels that more and more people are calling for, not just 100K or 150K, but 300K, 500K, even $1 million. At 300,000 per Bitcoin, just one BTC puts you at $300,000 net worth. That's enough in many countries to completely change your life. With 2 BT, that's 600,000, enough to walk away from the job, live slow, and build something on your own terms. At 500,000 per Bitcoin, holding just 2 BTC puts you at $1 million. That's millionaire status. And if you're holding 5 BTC, you're sitting on $2.5 million. That's not maybe I'll retire early money. That's freedom money. And if Bitcoin ever hits $1 million, the number some top analysts and maxis have been calling for years, 1 BTC alone could retire you. And if you've been stacking for a while, maybe you're sitting on 1.5 or 2 BTC already. At that point, we're not talking about surviving. We're talking about complete lifestyle change. The beauty is, you don't need to be rich to get there. You don't need to own 10 or 20 BTC. Even just 1 Bitcoin, or a fraction of one, could put you on the path to financial independence, if you hold long enough. This is the kind of math most people can't see, because they're too focused on today's price. But we're not here for today. We're here for what's coming. Alright, so we've seen what Bitcoin could become. The next step is simple: start investing. You don't need to time the perfect entry, just be consistent. That's what smart investors do. They dollar cost average, buy a little on the regular, ignore the noise, and focus on the goal. And when the dips come, don't panic, don't complain, that's your window. While the world freaks out, you build, but don't just invest. Secure it. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges. Put it on a hardware wallet. If this is your retirement plan, treat it like one. Not your keys, not your freedom. Some people also look into Bitcoin IRAs for long-term savings, especially in countries where it gives tax advantages. It's not for everyone, but it's worth exploring if you're thinking ahead. So maybe you're thinking, what if I invest all this Bitcoin and it doesn't work out? Look, we all know Bitcoin isn't a smooth ride. It dips hard, it pumps fast, and sometimes it feels like the market is trying to shake everyone out. But if you've been here long enough, you also know one thing: every single dip, every crash, every scary moment has always been followed by a new all-time high. That's the nature of this asset. It's volatile in the short term, but in the long run, it's one of the most powerful performing assets of our lifetime. Yeah, there's risk, but look around. Fiat is melting. Savings accounts are a joke. Pensions are collapsing. Everything they told us to rely on is breaking right in front of us. So ask yourself, what's the bigger risk? Holding Bitcoin, or staying stuck in a system that keeps taking from you? Bitcoin doesn't guarantee wealth, but it gives us a chance to step outside the broken system, a chance to own something real, something scarce, something that no one can inflate away. And when you zoom out, that chance is worth everything. So here's what it comes down to. You don't need to time the market. You don't need to hold 10 BTC. You just need to stack what you can, stay focused, and zoom out. Because if Bitcoin does what many of us believe it will, even just one BTC could change everything. This isn't about chasing price. It's about claiming freedom on your terms. No banks, no broken systems, just you, your conviction, and a plan that actually makes sense in this new world. If you're already stacking, you're early. And if you're not, you still have time, but don't sleep on it. Let me know in the comments. What's your Bitcoin retirement goal? I want to hear it. And if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next one.